Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today. It is the first full week in October 2024. We're very excited. I hope that you and your loved ones continue to be safe and enjoying the finer moments of family and fun. Wanted to welcome you from our global team here at PPM Works and wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you have the pleasure in joining us today from. What are we talking about today? Well, we have another exciting and brief webinar here, and we're going to focus today on AI. So I know that's a buzzword out there, especially in with Microsoft. There's a lot of things around Copilot. We're going to talk about that. But we're also going to try to figure out, some of these trends that we're seeing with our clients. We just met actually with a bunch of clients out at the PMI Global Conference. Thank you, PMI, for hosting us there. We had two booths out there. One, they were partnered with Microsoft, and the other with another OnePlan. And I'll be showing you both of those things today and how you can grow your solutions into more of a modern solution using AI. Now, a lot of folks say, okay, what is AI all about? We're going to get into that. But first things first, I want to invite you to some webinars that are coming up. You can see them on the screen here. We are running webinars every Tuesday. I recommend that you join us. There'll be a live Q&A session there. For those that are joining us through through YouTube and subscribing to us, that's great. You can always post your comments or reach out to us directly at info@ppmworks.com. You reach our events, it's there down the bottom. We're going to be talking about enterprise versus work management next week, or sorry, 2 weeks from now. And then the cadence is going to continue on. We're going to talk about Copilot in simplifying project management. That's only going to be looking at Copilot, and not anything else that we're looking at today. So more deep dive there. We're going to talk about project and the unification of connected systems. So how do we get into Teams and Smartsheet and Excel and some of these other agile things that are out there like Jira and ADO. And then lastly, we're going to dive deep into competitors and choosing the right tools. So we've seen a lot out there, and we want to share that with you, again, from our perspective. And that will be on the 4th of December into some of those holiday seasons if you celebrate them at that time. Would want to ask you to subscribe to our website. You can do so by looking us up on YouTube or the click below here on the icon that's there. All right. So I already told you that we're going to jump into AI and talk about some specific AI capabilities that are out there and also some integrations. So I want to do just a few quick slides here. We're going to talk about how that sort of frames this up. And then we're going to dive right into the area for portfolio and really project management. Now, this is always changing. So I'm going to recommend that if you're watching this, and look at the timestamp on your computer and figure out how old this recording is because things change and evolve at a very rapid pace, especially with things around Microsoft's AI technology, but also AI in general. So, in conjunction with your portfolio, your project management capabilities, and really methodologies, you need to really make sure that you're dovetailing that technology growth, but also stretching yourself in and you're going to see what benefits you, but also what benefits our clients the most. And I want to talk about some of those today. So, this strategic portfolio management means different things to a lot of different people. So, what does it mean, and what are we going to talk about today? And within our organization, we define it as more traditional PPM. Is more for advanced organizations. You're going to be talking about things like resource management, not only just project execution and status reporting, but also trying to figure out the benefits of that. So that full end to end. SPM is expanding even more upon that and really adapting to more modern requests. So you're going to talk about capabilities of investments and program management, whether it's a digital asset or a physical. Okay. And then also talking about different classifications and bringing that in from an enterprise application lifecycle management. Okay. Could also be in strategic portfolio management. And also, yes, strategic portfolio management does cover the strategy of it. So, how does everything roll back to one particular driver. Now, you could do that with traditional PPM out there, but typically that's where you sort of teeter totter over into more strategy or strategic portfolio management. Now, every organization can benefit from this, whether it's, and we list a few there, but again, about your efficiency and productivity. How can we better that and really get that going for the organization? How can you have persona-based AI, meaning, okay, today I'm going to show you things on the portfolio or project manager level, looking at that strategy and different thing, but can we do that for the inline workers? Okay, and how can they use AI then better even a Teams meeting like this? How can we get action items that happen through different project meetings, status reports? Can they be auto-generated? I'm going to show you some of those today, as well as alignment. So you can talk about how these initiatives align into your portfolio and should we actually be doing that? So you can sort of stretch that and extrapolate out that you're going to be doing involved decision making because AI is going to help you sift through all that data and figure out, okay, if we were to add 3 or 4 different programs with X amount of resources and X amount of budget, can we actually do that work with the given dollar constraints or budget, or should you recommend some things? And then again, everything we're talking about is about optimizing and making your role a little bit easier, but also getting the end question, which is always and always will be data driven decisions, right? So AI can do great things when you talk about how these different initiatives work. Now, the terms that we might be using or you might be hearing out there, and this might be again a refresher for most or some of you out there, is more have a rule-based AI. You know, it's going to operate on a set of predefined rules and logic. This type of AI is really good with solving mathematical equations or reproducing, you know, logical statements or things like that, patterns. You often see rules-based AI when you get, you know, challenged for your different programs. It says, hey, pick out all the bicycles, right? Things like that. That also dovetails in with the next point, which is machine learning. That's going to be computer-based learning, and you're going to train it to recognize those patterns, like I just talked about, and also even cadence and rate of speech and things that we're talking about. Examples of understanding and machine learning. Then you're going to get into your sort of your deep learning, and that's really going to look at massive amounts of data, and it learns by spotting those patterns and recognizing different trends. Now, how does this all help for you? Um, Again, if you trend recognition, how your projects are happening, how your portfolios are working. So not only trend analysis and understanding those benefits there, but also understanding historical or looking at historicals and projecting. And also, I'm going to show you today how you can create those projects from templates and have AI try to do some of those for you as well. The last two, really, the last one is known by everybody, Copilot out there or ChatGTP or whatever you tend to use these days, asking you know, AI questions, and it's becoming evidently more popular out there. Even you can see Microsoft changing its name from ChatGPT, that which used to have, really, right into Copilot, right? That's out there. So everything's there. A little fun fact: do you know that GPT did stand for generative pre-chain transformer? So again, talking about that language that we just did. What are the tools we're going to talk about is Microsoft AI, and we're going to get into the new planner and see how you can look at some of that, some of the out-of-the-box features that's there, plus some of the premium features that you might need with licenses. You can do this across Power Platform, meaning a lot of activities that people use is Power BI. So how do we get reports out of data, right? That's there's a Copilot for Power BI. Also with Power Automate, meaning making your workflows a little bit easier. We're going to show some of this. And then in OnePlan, okay, another tool that we use that's out there for great strategic portfolio management. How can we take all the data that's within OnePlan, all the data that happens to be within M365, and how can we take all this and make AI work for us? That is really the crux of what we're going to be talking about and doing today. I did want to get into some demos as well, but these are really the efficiencies that you're going to start to create. Easier communications, AI prompting you, hey, project manager, did you check out your project? It looked like there should be some delays. Now, while a lot of people say, hey, that could be a little creepy, And also, is it taking over my job? I tend to look at it, no, it's not going to take over your job. Your role may adapt, and you might need to adapt to it. So rather than having uh, a colleague help you out with something, maybe you're just going to have that person on your shoulder. Okay, it's another form of you doing some research and getting you data. You still need to understand it. You still need to ask the right questions. You still need to drive towards a solution. And then for you project managers out there, it's going to increase your role of communication, increase your role of being a project manager. You might have a, hey, show me all the risks or show me all inherent issues that are out there. Well, that's just the start. What are you going to do with it? How do you respond to those? What's the culture at the organization or the client that you need to roll out? And then how can AI help you do that? Can it help you create your emails or create your team's post or whatever it happens to be? Now, my friends, now we're going to switch into the tool set. But I wanted to show you off the box, off the bat, you can do this within Teams. Teams AI right now and Power BI is out there. Copilot's up in the right-hand corner. You can also embed different tools, whether it's if some of you are using sales or CRM out there for Teams, there's that's embedded. Many of you, when you're typing emails, you're going to see that Copilot's up in the right-hand corner helping you out. So these are some things that are there. Within schedules, you can start to do some AI generated schedules to say, hey, show me a marketing research plan. And it's going to go and create this. I'll show you an example in just a few minutes. If you want RAID logs or historical data that I already talked about, or estimates, hey, can you create a project based on XYZ? We're going to have a little fun together and I'll show you some of that. Then the next is, with OnePlan, there's a bunch of things that are out there. And I want to walk through, that demonstration as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the tool set. I'm going to go ahead and share my laptop, share my machine here, and we'll jump into the AI features. First, starting in and around Planner and getting those projects started. Right. So with Planner, we are going to first look at a particular project. And within that particular project, we're going to ask it some questions. We're going to do a few things. So what do I happen to be looking at? On the left-hand side, I am in Teams, right? And down here, there's the planner icon. So what project managers tend to do here is, hey, how do we use this tool set to start creating? Well, this is an assignments view I happen to be running off on, but I'll get you back to a grid and you'll feel a little bit more, okay, this is a normal project. What are we looking at? Project management demo. I have a bunch of, uh, summary tasks, initiating, planning, executing, etc. I can see that information in a board view if I wanted to and move tasks from one to the other. I could switch this board and see, um, whatever columns I really want here. But again, in this case, I'm looking by my board in that case. I could look at a timeline. I could look at my Gantt charts or other things like here. People view, again, this is more of just an overview of the out-of-the-box planner tool coming with your teams. And then this is where the strategy starts, extrapolating out, is now you can see people assigned and what they're on, but from a goal perspective, how do we tie? This is great. So now I can tie goals back to my initiatives. And I can start to see that and track that information. And you get all this information in there, and you get all your assignments from a project manager. I can start to see some information. All right, how does AI do something? Well, I'm going to show you a demo in just a bit of how to create a project and do all this. But I thought I'd get to the good stuff first. To me, at least, the good stuff first. So I came in here. Copilot was up, and you clicked on this little Copilot link, and it pops and says, "Hey, I'm ready to help you. Do you want me to build a plan? Do you want me to start asking questions? Do you want me to add some tasks? What do you want me to do? Tell me to do something." Right? And I said, hey, can you give me a status report for this plan that includes progress as well as highlights? And said, sure. Okay, off I go. And here it is. So this plan is currently being managed by a project manager. It spans from this particular period to this. It currently hasn't started or it's finished. It'll tell me that progress. There's a bunch of tasks out there. A few of them are assigned to these people. Okay. Highlights. I could keep going and say, all right, great. Can you create a draft email to send out with this information, right? Could a Teams post? How do you want me to do that, right? And depending on your ring of Copilot, some of these features will be enabled for you, and others will just give you that information. And as of today, depending on your ring, you'd have to copy that and put it into an email, right? Or copy that and put it into a slideshow, right? But it will get you there. Next, I said, you know what, that's great, but tell me a little bit more about this project charter that's in here. Hmm, I don't see project charter anywhere up on these. How did it get this? Well, it says, okay, first of all, the project charter is a pretty important piece of every project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and say, hey, are there any key tasks that are in there? Okay. Are there any strategies that we're trying to do? So it's going out and saying, hey, AI understands what a charter is. What can I go and look at this project from a goals perspective? From the task perspective, maybe some deadlines. How can I go in there, maybe even dependencies, and figure out what the charter should be all about? Okay. I could keep going and asking questions. What's the scope statement? Show me what are some potential risks, right? And you, my friends, can go on here and explore uh, with this project, right? And could keep going. You are doing project manager things now. You're going and saying, hey, what would I normally be doing? What would I normally be looking at and figuring out some of these questions? So this is one quick example of how AI can work for you from a let's look at a particular project and execution and ask it questions and then actually respond and react. The other area would be that we talked about is creating a plan from scratch. So in this case, I don't have anything. If I come to new plan in here, it's going to pop up. And what do I see? A basic or a premium. And again, this is Copilot in preview for Planner that's out there. You'll see this little icon. You will need to pay for a license. So I'll stop right there. The Planner out of the box is free. Planner to do Copilot, timelines, goals, different things like that, a lot of project management things are what's going to fall into your planner or project plan 3 license. Okay. And then there's a plan 5 license as well. So there's different plans that are out there that do cost some money. So let's take that away. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We could help you. I'm going to go in here and say, hey, create me a plan. And we're going to do let's do a market research. You know what? Let's do new product development because we just had a client that we're working with new product development. And there we go. That's my new product development. I'm just going to copy that. I could add it to a pin. I could also add it to any groups that are existing. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and create this project. Okay. When I go off and create this project, I'm a little impatient. I'm just going to go back here and grab it. Here it is, new product development. It's going to be completely blank. Well, that didn't really help, but it did. Okay. We created a project. Now I want AI to say, hey, AI, right up here. Here's my trial status, right? I can come in here. I have Copilot, right? So I hit Copilot. I'm going to say, hey, now, right? There was that thing. Can you build me a plan for new product development in the pharma industry? Well, okay, let's go for it. Why not? It's going to go off and crunch away and say, hey, pharma industry, new product development. Let's see what I can do for you. Again, it's going out and taking all that information and say, hey, I have a bunch of tasks. Oh, wait, not only do I have those tasks, let me go ahead and build this project plan for you. And it's going to go ahead and put all these tasks in for me. And it's going to, on the left-hand side, I can start to see it. AI, got some cool colors there. I can see things that go and says, boom, okay, now I'm done, thumbs up. So on the left-hand side, I just took a look. It said market research. Now I can go in here and say, hey, can you create and add, some generic resources for it, right? Can you add a summary task? Can you create a risk budget? All these different things. It's going to keep building and building and building for you. Okay. So the ability to create those projects, the ability to look across your entire group, again, would be another Copilot feature that's out of the box. All right. All right, the next area that I wanted to go into, I'm going to go back to my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and share again, is we're going to take a look at some of the features that are out of the box within the PPM toolset of OnePlan, okay, and looking at AI that's there. So yes, just like that, we can go ahead and generate our AI features. We can create a project. You can do some nice things like that, but you can also go across and do some things from a strategy perspective. So predicting, forecasting, data analytics, okay, risk assessment, and such. So in this case, we can go into a portfolio. We're going to select that portfolio. We're going to say, hey, can you go ahead and provide me a summary of this portfolio? It's going to look at everything. It's going to add that in. It's going to say, hey, based on all this, we have X amount of epics, X amount of projects. We have different durations on here. We have risks. We have all these other things, okay, within this portfolio. There are some goals, okay? We can say, hey, based on all that, right, I want to see what's the highest risk across everything and tell me why that is. It says, oh, hey, Jacques, I got something, right? Here's another one, right? So it's going to go off and say, hey, I have to support a customer from mobile. Here's the end result. And here is why are the reasons that it's the highest risk. Okay. You can keep asking it questions, right? And et cetera. So the next one is really which plans allow me to maximize different benefits while we're doing from a budget perspective. So again, we're going to open it up. We're going to say, hey, I have a question for you. How can we maximize those benefits for our budget? It's going to look across that portfolio again and say, okay, I'm taking a look at different things. Okay. And we have a ratio that you just asked me about, right? Benefits to budget. I'm going to do that mathematics for you. And I'm going to create a different list. So then we can go back as a manager and ask another question. It says, hey, which project should I cancel? Or which project should I roll in? You know, we can keep asking questions of the tool and building different scenarios that are out there. Again, you could save those scenarios if we wanted to, and you'd have different scenarios within your portfolio itself. Another really cool use of technology, being able to go through there and add, okay, different scenarios that you have here. Now you can keep going with your technology and your tools that are out there and asking it questions. What you should get from this webinar is the simple fact that you can have AI help you do your job. So what role are you doing, right? Are you managing other folks? Can you get them to use AI to get their chat tasks complete, right? From a consistent place if you're a project manager? Or is there anything else that AI can leverage? I do want to implore that you go on and you subscribe to our website. There's plenty more like this that are out there. We are always thinking about new things. If you want to reach out to us and you say, hey, these guys sound good, and we want to actually pick their brain on something, we offer workshops. Reach out to us, see if you qualify through one of our partnered solutions. You know, whether it's Microsoft Project, the Power Platform that we talked about, Copilot, okay, everything that's out there. Reach out to us. Let us know what we can do. You can reach us at info@ppmworks.com. That's info@ppmworks.com. I'll put that in the chat just so you have that as well. Perfect. And then lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them to us. Reach out to us for LinkedIn. This is my personal LinkedIn. You can also join and follow us at ppmworks.com. From a YouTube perspective, plenty of more stuff out there. I'll put that in the chat as well. And if we don't have any questions on here, I'm going to wrap us up and say thank you very much for joining us today. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on the next PPM Works webinar. Have yourself a great day, folks.